Welcome back to Trauma Teachers. This is Aaron.
With Patrick.
As always.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna worry about the camera.
It's
It's like sideways because it needs to be plugged in, and there's probably a 5% chance I figure YouTube out. So
I mean, I just remember that it was even there right now.
yeah, kind of. We'll see.
I was over here trying to figure out the phone situation, and it's like, oh yeah, we're trying to get on YouTube.
We're back.
Yeah. Was
So
it 2 weeks now?
yeah, last visit 2 weeks. I think I don't make any promises. They'll probably become more regular once. Because what is it? 3 weeks? We think your boys are coming back.
Yeah.
You're not your boys and girls. Your crew.
The crew. Yeah. So about three and a half, maybe. Yeah, looks like that way.
So if we get that going, then we'll have a lot of content on it.
I would say, yeah. I would say.
Because right now we're still repeating myself again, but we're still kind of staying with the same cottage all day. Yeah. The kids we've had a few incidents, which I'm sure we'll get into.
I was gonna say, yeah.
But the kids, for the most part, have still been great. So,
yeah, still for considering the circumstances, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to just put an episode out just to do it. We're not about that.
No, that's not how we roll.
Education, not fame. Sorry to my fans. All right, so how do we usually start struggle of the week?
Yeah, struggle.
All right, so struggle of the week. Mine has been just it's just frustrating not teaching really because they're still in the online program. Like I said, they've been great. They've been getting a lot of work done, which is awesome.
Sweet.
And we've been able to. This week we rotated just to kind of check out the work.
See everybody else is doing.
But not doing lessons, not doing anything as a class. It's been a little frustrating.
I mean, I can only imagine you got into the biz, man.
Right. Yeah, that's what I got into it for, so that everyone's looking at me while I talk, and I'm not getting that. So it's what's the point? So the kids, some of them are struggling with the online, but a lot of them actually really like it.
I think it's been they're adjusted well to it a lot more than I think I was even expecting. I think a lot of the kids like it a lot more than I thought.
And I thought we'd have more that were just I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
But we really haven't had any that I know of.
That are straight refusal. Yeah, there'll be times where we're like, well, I don't feel like doing it right now or whatever. But no, there hasn't been a hardcore no, I'm just not doing it at all.
Yeah, and it's distracting because it doesn't lock them in, so they can't open other windows and such, which is great for cheating. but there's just a lot they can do on there, so they've done a good job concentrating and down on it.
Nice. All right, my struggle of the week is had the old, you take 2 steps forward to take 1 step backwards. And where we are, sometimes that can feel like, you take 1 step forward to take 5 steps backwards. And that's kind of how it feels. And I mean that in the sense where you might have a particular student or kids that you're working with or their class, and you feel like you're making great strides with a kid. And you feel like you're progressing and building a relationship, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, it feels like they may have a crisis situation, and they're speaking with you or talking to you it's day one, they don't even know who you are. Right. So you feel like all of this month time that you spent building up to work on this pairing and building relationship seems to be a tear down in 2 minutes. So kind of that feeling of I did all of this work and it was for nothing.
And that is something that if you're going to get into this field or you just started in this field, that is something that you might as well get out of the way, because the first time it happens, it's so jarring.
It is demoralizing and disheartening. It completely tears you down.
Because like you said, you could have spent a month kind of getting them to trust you before they'll even think about engaging in a conversation.
Yep.
And then you have this great 3 or 4 months where they're you might be the closest staff to them, and they're confiding in you, and everything's going great, and then all of a sudden they'll say things to you that most humans would never say to each other. And because I remember the first time it happened, I was just
what is going on?
They just told me they want me to die.
Yeah.
And I thought we were
here we are. I thought we just made a connection. Yeah. And that happened to me this week. Yeah. So that was rather tough, and it was more than one student. So it's always really hard when it's just one kid, but it's in the span of 2 weeks, 2 different students, it happened both times. And if we're gonna throw out some tips for either one of our struggles this week, I think my tip for struggles like this when that happens is, I think we all the time we always say that we don't read their intake stuff, and either, if we do, we don't take it all in, and sometimes it's with a grain of salt because the kids that we see on paper are not who we see face to face and all of that. But if I did have a suggestion or a tip when that happens, you feel like you took 5 steps back with a kid, go back. That's a good time to read their intake stuff. Yeah. That's a good time to read their paperwork and get into some of their history, just as a reminder, and it'll kind of remind you, okay, that's why they reacted that way. Right. It readjusts and re-engineers your thinking to and it reminds you that, okay, there's a reason why all of that happened the way they did, that they reacted the way that they did, and here's why. And it's for me, it's a good, like I said, it serves as that great reminder to be like, okay, then it's not me. Don't take it personally.
Right.
They're still working, and that's fine. And we took one step. We took something to take backwards, but we still did take that one step forward.
Yeah, and that's great advice. And to piggyback on that, also don't expect an apology.
Yeah.
If it happens, awesome. But it's not something if they walk back in the next day and you're like, do you have something to say to me? Then it could start all over again, or they're just going to be like, F this guy.
Yeah.
Because they know what they've been through, and they're like, I just went back to where I was and I had a bad day. You don't really need to bring it back up. Because I've definitely done that before. Not like that, but I've just been yesterday was pretty crazy. That, there's just no point of saying that unless they bring it up.
I was going to say, and to piggyback on your piggyback, I might also suggest that, it does, you really do have to have, it really does need to be like Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
They walk in, it's really, really hard. Those are the really, really tough days where you need to really, at the end of those days, you got to self-care, you got to get away, you got to find something to do to disconnect, because come in the next day, don't even mention it. It didn't happen, it doesn't exist. Say good morning, to let them know. It's a good reminder that hey, I'm not holding a grudge.
Right.
I have forgotten about it. It doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah. And so like I said, to jump on what you said, just don't even address it at all.
We've talked about previously, sometimes it'll be a month later, and they'll start laughing and remember when I told you I wish you were dead? You're yeah. And then they'll just be I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. And then you're it's good.
Yeah, no worries.
So that's really good advice.
Yeah.
All right, so highlight of the week. I have 2 short ones.
Nice.
My first one is, we talked a couple episodes back about how I just this class and I were just not vibing. And they had requested to change classes, and I had requested to change classes. And at one point, a kid and I told each other that, and I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But that kid who, could not stand me, he came up and gave me a hug twice.
Nice.
And even in COVID, I was just it was too late. I didn't see him coming either time. But he was just I miss you or whatever. And I was like, oh my God. So that's just what we were talking about.
Yeah.
He hated me.
I remember.
Wanted to kill me. And then, this week he gave me a hug. So that's a good example. And then my other thing is just my class right now is awesome.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before, but it's so cool when there's a group of kids that kind of have similar interests, because our kids have kind of unique interests, and they're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I see.
During free time, and I'm just what world?
And they're all into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you read your own scenarios. They're you go to the forest, you find 36 acorns, but now there's a bear, and I'm what is? What is going on?
There's a notebook full of scenarios. I was this is way deeper than I even imagined.
I have no idea what the purpose of the game is, but they're just a really relaxed, cool class. Yeah. We can actually have a lot of, and class like that, you can actually have a lot of conversations about what comes next, because you're not running around setting out fires
all day long. Yeah,
so that's it.
Yeah, nice. Mine would be, I think, based on the week that I was, or the couple weeks that I was having. I was connections with kids. It left me wondering, a little questioning sometimes. But it was great that today actually, right here at the end of the week, as I was trying to get some stuff moved around and situated, there were some kids that were just willing to help. Just I didn't even have to ask. It was just hey, they saw me getting ready to do something or moving stuff around, and they were just can I help? I want to help you out.
Yeah.
And it was just again, it's always that flip of the coin, the other side, just it again, another reminder that hey, it is gonna stop raining. It's not that bad. And
that our kids do think about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because you can get, especially when a kid's yelling at you, the other day, you can get stuck in this, this is who this kid is.
Yeah.
And that happens. It's going to happen.
It's gonna
to
happen.
anyone.
Yeah.
But then when it's just something little like that, kid asking help, you're oh, this kid has hopes and dreams and aspirations and feelings just like every other person. They've just had terrible stuff happen to them that puts those blinders on and all that stuff.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, man. So.
It's coming around.
Yeah, I mean,
got some decorations up.
Stuff is getting on the walls. It's happening, man.
I'm still waiting for 4 posters, but we got 4 of them out there, so it's still.
And it's working because every time. I mean, I think we know which one was going to be the fan favorite, at least for a little while, was the Spider-Man.
Right. Miles
out there is collecting all of the love. Everybody says that they love.
Yeah. They love that movie.
Yeah.
It is really good.
I mean, it's really good. I mean,
but Into the Spider-Verse, it's still what's it been 2 years? They're they love it.
I was gonna say I even will throw that on sometimes just because. So
they're listening to today. They love that song. All right, that's enough. Sorry. What are we on now?
Yeah.
All right. Have you learned anything about yourself during the pandemic?
I have, and I think what I've learned is that I don't care that much about as much as I used to, which I feel like is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's, and I mean that in kind of the best way that I can, is that because it feels like growth. Right. When you're younger, stuff would really get under your skin and really irritate you, and I think now, I think this time is during the pandemic and the quarantine and all of that situation, I think it's really good setup for people who are a little older and a little better spaces, because I can only imagine myself 10 or 15 years ago when little stuff or things used to irritate me, but now I found that just I've gotten really good at just kind of rolling with whatever life happens to throw at me, and just taking the next, all right, so this is happening, all right, what do I do with this, or I just ignore it, or like I said, I really don't care. And
I've actually experienced the same thing, which is crazy, because I used to be such a baby. You have to go to your girlfriend's parents on a Sunday. I'm I can't believe I'm missing the Redskins. Or the team.
The Washington.
Yes, sorry. And just think about it all day. Yeah. Can't believe this is happening. Stupid stuff like that. And this is just another reminder. Our kids were the first reminder kind of for me. And then this is just okay, you can't do that. I've started reading a lot. Just do something. Yeah. And it might be the only positive of social media, because you see other people, just little stuff. I can't believe this. They're even posting stuff I can't believe this happened at work today, and it's just move on.
Let it go.
If this hasn't taught you, you gotta let it go. You can't control it. We are nothing.
Right. That infinite feeling of things are not in your control. Yeah. And I've gotten really good at being okay with that. Just all right, it's just move it.
And it also makes you even more cognizant of your, not to get deep, but of your mortality. This whole humanity, we could be done. And what if this pandemic was 100 times worse? What
True.
if
all facts.
So yeah, it's good, man. Yeah. Personal growth.
A little bit, man. A little bit. When it sneaks up on you, hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
I like it.
All right. So I guess on pandemics and situations like that.
Let's keep it dark.
Yeah. What natural disaster kind of scares you the most?
This is easy. Anything that would cause a flood. I am a horrible swimmer.
Okay.
Ever since I was I remember my mom taught me first swim lesson when I was 5. I was always good at sports, but I wouldn't get in the water. I was crying hysterically. I was the kid that everyone pointed at. And I just hated pools. Always hated pools. And then this summer, actually, I got caught out on a sandbar, and it was pretty dicey. So that I'm just a terrible swimmer.
I mean, I can almost, I don't know if I'd call it my number one, but it definitely is terrifying. I don't know if you had the same, early introduction to swimming, where they push you off the high dive.
Yeah.
That was my experience. Is learning to swim. They just kicked you off the high dive. I was this is not great.
High dives, by the way, though, are amazing. I know they had to get rid of them because of insurance, but what a feeling! Jumping. It's weird though, because I love the ocean and I like body surfing and stuff, but I just won't go out past my waist or whatever. I'm just. God, and I really start freaking out.
No, I hear you, man. When you watch some of those videos of just how destructive just free running water can be, it's terrifying.
Yeah, I just don't. And my brother surfs and everything, so I was when I got back in, I couldn't breathe, and they were all just dying laughing. I'm glad you were worried about me dying. All right, so resource of the week. I'll make this really quick. I just read an article about because we're always thinking about alternative treatments for our kids because they're on so many meds, as we've discussed ad nauseum. And I just read an article about how exercise is great for people with depression. For some people, it can be better for you than actual antidepressants. And a lot of people, it's good as a supplement also. And so feel like a lot of times when you say like alternative treatments, people think you're like a conspiracy theorist, which is a really odd reaction for me. But it's just like it's and a lot of these studies are new, so it's just encouraging that people are looking at different ways to help our kids besides just giving them meds.
I would love to hear like how to be really effective at that, because as you know, as somebody who can go in and out with like working out and you know, between loving it and hating it, you know, like when I am loving it, like I see why, like the feeling of like you just start to feel better, like of course you start to look better.
Yeah,
you start to fall in love with yourself,
which is up here,
which is reason number one.
Yeah.
You got to remember how great you are, but no, like you start to you feel like your stamina is just better. You just feel good, like and I can understand and appreciate like how that it transitions to your thoughts and just how your overall feel. So I would be really interested on how there are ways of getting younger kids to find the value in that and actually start doing it.
And this isn't saying like I want every kid here to run 5 miles.
Right.
But there's yoga. There's martial arts. There's if kids wanted to get into weightlifting, and all the studies also show that lifting weights or doing martial arts for troubled youth do not increase violence.
It actually does the opposite.
It actually does the opposite. Because if you know you can beat somebody up, like a lot of our fights are from insecurity.
Right.
Like you think I'm scared.
Right.
But if you know you can beat somebody up, there's really not any point of doing it.
Right. Some of our better students who never got into fights, that was why, because they were very aware of their skills. Yeah. So they were like.
Right. Our kids we had last year who were by far our biggest kids, they never fought.
Never fought.
Because they didn't have to prove anything.
Have to prove anything.
And so I would love to see like because there aren't a lot of like long-term studies. And you'd obviously have to give them a lot of options, but there are a lot of options.
There are a lot of
aerobics, dance, whatever.
Tai Chi.
Yeah, Tai Chi.
I really got into Tai Chi for a little while.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't know you had a Tai Chi face. Martial arts to me was like swimming. I went for like 2 days. I think some kid leg kicked me and I was out.
Yeah, but Tai Chi is like the slow moving yoga style. I was like, it was a lot better on my mental than I fully expected. But
and that's a build. Like you were saying, like when you do it like 3 or 4 days in a row, I don't know why I can't because I'll do it for like 2 days, like you said, and I'll take 3 days off. Like you start feeling like almost euphoric.
Yeah. Yes. Like have you ever done like a week?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And your thoughts are like you said, your thoughts are way more positive, way clearer, and like
So I think that would be great. I would love to just flood our kids with options of things to do. Like,
and you're getting good at something. Like, no matter whether it's yoga, Tai Chi, like you're building on what you're doing.
On what you're doing. No. Fabulous. No.
Glad we agree.
Yeah. Look at us. All right. So on to our feel good.
Yeah.
Let's feel good. Our feel good this week is an update on one of our students who left. So it's a feel good on a feel good. This student was. I'm pretty sure we talked about them before.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we did. They had some really heavy news. As far as their placement and what was going to happen for them. As far as discharge. But in a really good situation, really good foster situation, excellent discharge, great kid with like little to no behaviors whatsoever.
Honestly, probably should not have been here.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is one of the few kids I would say.
I was gonna say that you venture out on a ledge to say they should have no business being here.
Because it's always like you think that the first month, but this kid really, I mean, some minor.
And I think anything that was really minor was connected to something that would really be expected. So like they got horrible news from court or from in therapy, like we fully expect there to be an increase of something,
or from being somewhere like this when you
shouldn't be,
probably shouldn't be here.
Just maybe. But the update is that one of our coworkers here is actually familiar and knows the foster parent of the student and sees them pretty regularly and is able to explain and is able to tell us that this student is still continuing to do really well and is great where they are, really loves where they are, is really well taken care of, and is just progressing really well. So it's really great to hear and still be connected sometimes to some of our students who leave, and just to when you do hear updates and you do hear things about them, it's always great to hear that it's moving in the way that we would like to hope. So
yeah, and hopefully some of our coworkers are still listening to this, because I mean the student had so many close relationships around campus.
Yeah.
The support coach, cottage, like everyone was just especially when they got the news about what happened, like everyone just kind of rallied around this kid. And the kid, I mean, I was in my homeroom. No, I don't even remember. I remember one time she talked back to me, which I did all the time in high school, and I was like in shock.
Yeah, it caught me way off guard.
Yeah,
I was like, "What?"
It was once the whole time she was here, talked back to me, and I was like, "What did you say?" Like, I can't believe it. Like, unbelievable. But that's so refreshing.
Yeah, it's
on Friday to
on
find
a Friday.
out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. It's always great to hear. So.
Yeah, I mean, well, I mean, I know neither one of us is really gung ho about the NFL anymore, but our two squads. Have the Giants won yet?
Absolutely not.
So the Washington football team is 1-4. Giants are 0-5. Meeting up. Are you gonna watch that?
The clash of the Titans. No,
I'm probably not gonna watch it either.
No.
But it's happening. Someone has to win.
Man. The poor God! I just think about all the games that got canceled, like that were supposed to be on TV. Like, could you imagine, like this might have been a key matchup at some point, and they're just like getting kicked off the air.
Last year we actually went to a local watering hole and watched it. So Matt, I mean, things have changed.
I was gonna say, look, man.
Yeah, like we were in like a crowded bar watching football, like. Not worried about like if anyone else is in the bathroom, like how close people were getting. But yeah, we both grown as people, so that's the important part, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, that was a short episode of that. That felt good.
It felt really good.
Yeah,
man.
It's good to be back.
Always. So, yeah, unless you got anything else, Patrick?
Nah, I'm good.
I've enjoyed our conversation as always. Hope you guys have enjoyed listening, and we look forward to you guys listening next week.
That was great.
Yeah, that felt good.
That was really good. I can't believe it felt longer than that.